local. And good morning to you. I'm Mike Stevens at the WBCU studio this morning, and once again we are with you to try to inform you a bit on the local political races that will be going on. We have a primary coming up next Tuesday, a week from yesterday, and we hope that these programs will help you in making a decision as to whom you want to vote for. I think that was grammatically incorrect, but we got it in there, and I do that a lot. But anyway, with us this morning are two candidates in the District 3 County Council race, Tommy Ford, who happens to be the incumbent, and Howard Wahoo Gibson, who is the challenger this year. The name Wahoo going to be on the ballot?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir, will be on the ballot.
All right, good.
Most people don't know my real name.
I was getting ready to say who would know who Howard is. But anyway, both are here this morning. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming in. We'll look forward to a healthy and lively discussion today. And there are many issues going on in our county right now. One of those, in which will be addressed this afternoon at a special meeting of the county council at 3 o'clock, as I recall, will be the budget. Tommy, I'm going to start with you, mainly because it's alphabetical order. But budget's not finished yet, is it?
No, we still hadn't had a third reading on the budget yet.
Are you close?
Yeah, we're close. There's a few things we still need to discuss some, but we're close to finalizing the budget.
And it'll be balanced. And it has to be by state law.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it has to be balanced by state law. It will be balanced.
It will be balanced.
Uh-huh.
May not like it, but it'll be balanced.
It'll be balanced, yeah.
Okay. Wahoo, you have anything to add to that? Balancing a budget is not an easy task.
Well, it's especially not in Union County with property values down, but they're still balancing that budget with the landfill out there. I was glad that Frank pointed out when he got in there that the current council, before he becomes supervisor, they balanced the budget with non-reoccurring money, which is crazy. It never should have been done. And the council should be embarrassed about doing that, allowing the supervisor to do that. But still, we're balancing the budget with the landfill money. And it's about $1 million a year. And if it could be gone tomorrow, and look what kind of shape we'd be in. That's what's wrong with our council. Nobody never looks for the future. That money needs to be pulled out. It should have been pulled out years ago, and we wouldn't be in the shape we're in now. That should have been money we could have just used to buy new equipment for the road department to fix our roads, and a lot of things that we need in this town. And if they don't pull it out, and they say it's a big companies go under every day. And it could happen, but they need to pull that money out of there. So we really, instead of $1.8 million down where we had to get $800,000 for EMS, instead of $800,000 down for EMS, we was really $1.8 million down because they're using about $1 million off that landfill.
Is that true? $1 million off the landfill?
Yeah, it's close to that every year.
Is that how you balance the budget?
We use some of it for the budget, yeah. I mean, the budget has to be used in a lot of different ways. I mean, the money you've got coming in is what you have to use. I mean, there's just so much money there that you got to balance the budget.
Are there any restrictions on how that landfill money must be used that you're aware of?
No.
So it can be brought into the general fund and
right, yeah,
distributed however.
Right.
But so do you see a threat, Wahoo, of that landfill closing?
Oh, anything could close. Like I just told you, big mills closed. But
I'm speaking specifically with that landfill.
I do see a threat of it closing.
Why?
Because they built a new one off 85 in Greenville County. And I'm out there some. I'm in the construction, and they truck trucks. And people don't go out, don't realize the number of trucks that come in this town. We're a dumping ground. And that's basically what we making money as being a dumping ground. They bringing trash in from Georgia, North Carolina, and probably further than Georgia, and they're in there every day. It's like just trucks one after the other. And being they building one up in Greenville, if you was a truck driver with the amount of gas, is it closer to come down 85 and start in Greenville, or keep coming to Union County? Which one's closer? It would be Greenville. So they are going to lose some of that business. But by saying that, I was in the building department when you say about landfill, just to tell you what Union County is when I say we're a dumping ground. I was in the building department pulling a permit, and there was a guy come in, and he wouldn't tell me his name, but he was asking, was there any ordinances? Did we have a noise ordinance or any kind? What was our ordinances out in the county about land? Then he mentioned about landfills and things. Well, I spoke up. I didn't mind asking him. I said, sir, where are you from? He told me he's from Columbia. I said, what do you do for a living? He told me he buys land for clients, what they're looking for. He said his clients sent him up here to Union County to look for some land to put a landfill on. And so the Brad Jolly proceeded to tell him what we had. And his answer, and we get this all the time, we'll laugh and stop. People don't realize it. His answer, Mike, was, wow, the Wild Wild West then. So we're really a dumping ground. And you got these educated people coming here, and they realize it, and they sending these people up here. Are they going to put another one? I don't know. All I know, this guy didn't drive all the way up here from Columbia for nothing. He was looking for somebody. Then he did ask about a quarry. About a quarry or a landfill. But he said he had a client looking to put a landfill in Union County. And we got to stop this being a dumping ground. And I know it was done years ago when Donnie Beatboy was in office, and they took that money and they've run our town with it, but it can be closed. And I do see a threat of that.
You said something here that disturbs me a bit. Do you think the people in Union County are stupid?
Well, to allow what's went on, we got to be stupid. To allow what's went on, we really do. I just told you a guy out of Columbia called us wild, the Wild Wild West. I mean, I go in Spartanburg and Greenville all the time, and we're a laughing stock. I go to downtown Spartanburg a lot. I really don't say Union County no more, because when you do, they look at you like we're crazy. And they wonder, so what is going on down there? Why is it? And our councils have done nothing. But we have put the same people back in, so I guess Union's getting what they deserve. But I hope they've realized that we need change, and I can help with that change.
Tommy, you want to respond to that?
Yeah, as far as I know, we only got one landfill in Union County, and it's owned privately by Waste Management. It's true that we get some money out of this thing, but like I say, it's privately owned. There's got to be a place to dump the trash somewhere. That's where Union County dumps their trash. I mean, if we didn't have the landfill, we'd be going to Spartanburg or whatever and hauling. Imagine the cost for us to haul stuff all the way to Spartanburg County or whatever. And as far as the closing, they've already bought several acres. I mean, up in the 100 acres out there and to open up more sales. And plus you got the methane gas that they're using out there to produce power, which is a plus to everybody. I mean, so I don't really see them closing anytime soon. I mean, the property is there. True that they have to bring people in from other towns, but I mean, like I said, it's privately owned, and I guess they have to do that to, to stay in business, and they're in it to make money, And I don't think the people of Union County are stupid. They're not stupid. People of Union County are just as smart as everybody else around. We don't have stupid people in Union County.
You mentioned the methane gas out there. Lockhart Power put that in, a year or two ago?
Right.
And I forget the actual numbers on it. But landfills are a good source of methane gas.
They are. I don't know, if you hadn't been out there, everybody needs to go out there and see the operation that they've got out there for is the methane gas operation they got out there. It's a pretty big deal out there, and it's operated, it's an up-to-date facility, and it's operated safely, first-class facility.
All right. Let's move on to something else here. We've talked about the budget, then got over on the landfill.
Well, can I say one more thing about the landfill?
Sure.
When the landfill was put in, why Union County shut theirs down? They're making money out there. They wouldn't be there. Union County could have done that. Union County could have made their own money. And that's why, there again, I tell you, we never look for the future. We could have done that ourselves and made money instead of the company making money. And we couldn't control it, Mike.
Okay. Let's talk about the 1 cent or if you prefer, 1%. Sales tax, well, we can't say it's an increase yet because it hasn't been passed. That's got to be done by referendum, and that will be on the November ballot. Now, how it's worded, I'm sure the lawyers will take care of that so we can understand it. But basically, all we're asking is, do you want to pay an extra penny per dollar on your groceries or do you not? There have been some interesting numbers raised out of that 1% as to what it will produce. Quite frankly, I was hoping it would produce a little bit more than it did. Mm-hmm. Was around 800,000, am I right? I don't know.
That's just a rough estimate on the 800,000. We were figuring, maybe over $1 million for it is what we got coming in. They estimate that thing a little low when we met with the people from Columbia, on the sales tax and as far as what you can use it for and all this kind of stuff. But they said that they were always estimating low, and it could be over $1 million, maybe more than that. Depends. You get all the figures and everything's coming in.
You think it's a good idea?
Huh?
You think it's a good idea?
Yes, I think it's a good idea. We need something to generate some more revenue in Union, and if you got 1 cent sales tax, everybody pays. You people coming through Union, they stop to buy gas or stop to get something, they pay the 1 cent sales tax. No doubt that it will help Union County for its revenue. I like the idea, yeah. I think we got to pretty much, talk to the people and we need to, all of us need to be educated for as the 1 cent sales tax, what it's for. If you use the 1 cent, I think about 70% of it has to go to property tax relief.
Right.
So, it's going back to the people to help it with their property taxes. Your property taxes should be lowered after you do that,
All right, I want to get back to that and talk about how that's going to work a little bit.
Okay.
But, Howard, I just had to say that one time. Wahoo?
I'm not for any taxes, but because even if you get the 1 cent and you put it back in the hands of the people that's been using it and they continue to do what they're doing, there ain't no sense in doing it because we've been wasting it to start with. And if you're going to do one, you probably need to do 2 cents, and it really cover everything, because I don't think 1 cent's going to cover everything. Because Mike, $800,000 of these fees they put on the cars and the homes, and I wish they'd go ahead and put this out. I don't know why everybody at the courthouse thinks everything's so secretive. That $800,000 they was getting out of that tax money, they already way behind with that. It's done went way over that $800,000. So we already in the red with that.
You say that we should tell you. Have you asked and they not giving you an answer?
Well, I know the answer to it, but I'm saying, why don't you inform the people? So come out and say, look, we put these fees on here, and it was generate $800,000, and we done spent more than $800,000 already. I think July is when it starts over again. So it's going to take more than that, and that's probably the reason they won't try to get this 1 cent sales tax in here. But what's disturbing, Mike, when you say that about the 1 cent I just told you, I'll call a name. It was Ben Ivy. I went to Ben Ivy, and I asked Ben Ivy about when they done the reoccurring, used the non-reoccurring money. And I basically asked him, I said, Ben, let me ask you something. Would you run your business like that or your home? This is what's disturbing, Mike. This is a council member. He said, no, I wouldn't. That was his answer. So that tells me, if you won't run your home like that, why would you run the county like that?
Can you give me an example of some of the non-reoccurring funds that they use to balance the budget you said?
Well, they use the landfill, and then they use the
other thing.
Yeah, I draw the blank. But when they pulled it out of the budget, yes, they used that at $800,000 it was non-recurring money. Oh, it was state money, and you can't guarantee it to come back. That's what it was. But
we need to get on that subject. Money. We need to get on that subject too in just a minute. Now let me see if I can explain if this 1 cent or if you like, 1% sales tax increase comes about, the plan is that you have to use, as Tommy mentioned, 70% of that has to go to property tax relief. That leaves 30% of that to do other things. That would, the 1%, the reduction that you would get in property tax would allow for the elimination of the fees. Am I right on that, Tommy?
Yeah, it should, yeah.
Should allow for the elimination of the fees.
Right, yeah.
So you're paying a penny at the grocery store, but your property taxes will be lower, and you get the fees taken off.
Right.
That sort of makes sense to me. How about you, Wahoo?
Well, I agree with that. I'd like to see property taxes gone away with for the homes and cars, because it really deters somebody from buying a nicer, or building a home, or buying a nicer car. I agree with that. As long as we could do that. But the only thing I've seen over the years, when you add a tax, it becomes then they add another tax, and we keep adding to people, we keep taxing people, and that's the reason nobody, even like in the city of Union, can't run a business in the city of Union. It's hard. A young person can't really start a business up in Union County because of all the fees they put onto it and what it would take to start a business up. But if it would work that way, that would be great, as long as you put the money where it needs to be. But with that money you're talking about, you really need a finance officer. That's the biggest thing. One of the biggest things they need up there in the courthouse is they need a finance officer that can show where this money is going and what you can use it for. You don't have one right now. It's your supervisor. And by saying that, really the supervisor shouldn't be voted on. We should have a county manager, because right now, and I ain't saying Frank ain't doing a good job, but if Frank decided he didn't want to come to work for the next 2 weeks and do nothing, ain't nothing we could do about it. But if you had a county manager, the council could call him in and say, "Look at here, this is what we want to do. If you don't start running your job, we're gonna find somebody else." And so it's really simple, and that's what bothers me. The way we have our form of government, and we could be changed, but nobody's ever willing to change it. Really, hadn't, because all they've done is they own to take. All they want to do is take and not try to do anything for Union County. So you can't explain to me or tell me it ain't better to have somebody you can go tell them what to do. This is what we're looking for as council members, 6 council members, go tell them what to do, versus a guy you can't really tell him anything. You can suggest to him, but he's elected and he can do what he wants to do, and that's what Union needs to do. And we go to one form of government. It's pretty simple. We ain't got 26,000 people, and we got 5 forms of government for it. So long as they'll use the money for what it's for.
Forms of government.
5 forms of government. Well, you got Union County, the city of Union, the city of Jonesville, city of Lockhart, and the city of Carlisle. You got 4 mayors and a supervisor in Union County for 26,000 people. And so when you said a while ago, when you asked me, do you think the people are stupid? There's the numbers. You tell me. 5 forms of government for 26,000 people. How smart is that, Mike? That's not real smart.
You're going to tell the people of Carlisle they can't have their own government, a mayor?
For 26,000 people, I would.
Well, they're not 26,000.
Well, what are they getting out of it? I own a home in Carlisle. Let me tell you what the taxes is. Just one little old small brick home down there, just the city taxes is right at $350. There's a lot of people you're going to talk to them. They don't want to pay them taxes. But now there's a few. I don't want to pay any taxes, but if I want something, I'm going to have some. You're not getting anything. What are they getting? Tell me what Carlisle's getting out of that tax.
What Carlisle's getting?
Yeah.
Very little, because they the taxes are not enough.
Well, I agree with you. So that's another burden you're putting on for the people in Union County. That's the whole point. You're putting a burden on them, and they're really not getting anything. It's not enough. It ain't no different. You put all the money in one pot, and then you distribute it. And that's what makes more sense.
Wait a minute. Drop back on that. You're going to take the money from the people in Carlisle and their taxes and put it in the Union County pot?
No, that ain't what I'm saying. I'm just saying you cut all these governments out, and you got instead of everybody having to pay that extra tax down there, that's money they can spend in Union County in stores, and put for the economy for Union County. To where right now, the city of Union is the biggest one. You cut out all those mayor salaries. You cut out all those council salaries, and the people are paying for those. out of their tax money. So you take all those, that means you can cut the people's taxes and make it all one form of government.
Okay, let's go. I had made a note on asking about that very subject, and I'll get back. Okay, I made a note so I won't forget, but I'll forget to look at it.
And it's proof. So you get a piece of paper and you start adding 1 and 1 is 2 and 2 and 2 is 4. And if you can't, it don't add up, it don't add up. And that's we make it so hard. The people make it hard, Mike, because they try to make it complicated. The word people don't understand.
Tommy a chance here.
You know, the towns of Carlisle and Lockhart, and they choose to have their own form of government. You know, that's their choice. You know, they do their property taxes so they can have what little they have. You know, as far as you going down there and telling them that you can't do that. I mean, you know, that's not, I don't think that's fair to them or anybody else. I mean, you know, Lockhart, Jonesville, they got their own.
Doesn't have a tax base.
Yeah, but they got their own little form of government down there, and you're going to go down there and tell them that, you know, you can't do that. You know, I don't think that's something that we should be going down there and say you can't have a form of government in Carlisle, you can't have one in Lockhart. We're going to put it all into Union County, you know, and we're going to tell you what you're going. You know, I don't. No. No.
No. All right. Let's talk about consolidation of services just for a moment. Now, Supervisor Hart appeared before the Union City Council at the last meeting. Well, the last meeting was last night, but the one before that, in which he made an appeal to the council and the mayor about perhaps consolidating some services with Union County and the city of Union. To wit, one of those may be their shop, their mechanic shop. To some, it may seem like it's a duplication of services. Would you agree that maybe one motor grader could be used rather than one for the city and one for the county? And I'm only using that as an example. I'm not even sure. I'm sure they have a motor grader somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
But does that make sense, Tommy?
You know, we've talked to the cities over the past years about consolidated services, you know, and Frank's trying to work with them now on some certain things, you know, like with the dog catchers and we're talking about building codes, all different sides. We've talked to them several times, you know, trying to get together with them, but, you know, you got to consider the cost as far as, you know, even though if you did combine services, you still got the county and you got the cities. You got to keep up both of them. You know, the city's got to keep up the city part, the county's got to keep up the county part. You can combine the services, but, you know, as far as the cost, I mean, it's still going to cost. You know, if we combine, that means the city's got to kick in some money to help us out with this thing, or if we combine service with them, we got to kick in some money to them. I mean, these services are not free.
But it seems to me if there was a consolidation rather than two shops, there would only be one.
Right. If you do that, you know, you could have one shop, but even though you got the one shop, you still got twice as many vehicles. You know, if you consolidate the county, we got so many vehicles that we take care of. You can consolidate the city. All you're doing really is moving the city's mechanics and everything, and you're bringing their vehicles all into one shop is really pretty much what you're doing. You know, you still got to have the same number of people.
Same amount of work. Same amount of work, you're saying.
Right, yeah.
I think the thought on that was attrition could take care of some of that. But also the thought being, and I'm using the motor graders as an example, if the union needs one, the county's got one, and that one for the county is sitting idle, why not bring it up?
No, why not? You know, no problem. I mean, I think now, even now, if the city needed something we got, you know, as far as, like you say, a motor grader, one of our roll-off trucks or something like that, I'm sure that we would work with them and work something out, you know, where they could use, I mean, you know, we get along with the city. We work with them as much as we can, and they do with us.
Whoa.
I'm confused.
Okay.
I just said and told y'all consolidate all the towns, And nothing against Lockhart. Matter of fact, my family's from Jones. That's mainly where I'm from, Jonesville. So Jonesville, Lockhart, Carlisle, all these towns are good towns, good people. But y'all just said don't tell them what to do. Now you're saying let's consolidate. What would it be better?
Did not.
So that's what I'm confused about, and that's what we need to do. And if you're going to let them still have their own municipality and say and use different pieces of equipment and things, that won't work, Mike.
We're talking about services, not government.
And it won't work. It won't
Why
work.
Will it not work?
Well, because you give you an example of that motor grader you're talking about. The county guy may run it at high speed. The city guy may run it at low speed. And one's fussing about, well, he put such and such on this motor grader. I like to run the blade lower and things like that. That's the reason it won't work. It ain't no different. And you're using your neighbor's lawnmower. You may use it 1 or 2 times, but eventually it won't work. So, I mean, it's pretty simple. Consolidate Union County. It's 26,000 people, have one form of government, and that's what you're going to have to do to move Union County forward. And if you don't want to do that, I mean, they don't want to make Union County go forward, but that's what you got to do. So I'm just telling you right now, in order to move Union County forward, if you don't want to go to one form of, if Union County don't want to go to one form of government, don't even try to do nothing else, because that's what you got to start with. Is that there? It's pretty simple. They taking $2 million a year out of the city's utility fund and running the city of Union. And you say, well, how does that affect people in the county? Well, people that's got city water and city power, that means their power bill and water bill is going up because they're taking that money and running the city of Union. And Joe Nichols told me it was $2 million. So if you guys where that come from, I just spoke with him a few weeks ago. They've taken $2 million a year out of his budget. And it probably makes him look like he ain't doing his job. I told him he's doing an excellent job. If you're taking $2 million a year away from you and you're still running the show, I said, you're doing an excellent job.
Here again, I think we're not talking apples and apples. We're talking apples and oranges. One is government. The other is a consolidation of services.
I just said that won't work. And I just told you why. You wouldn't use you ain't gonna borrow your neighbor's lawnmower, and he may let you use it 2 or 3 times, but eventually it's not gonna work. And that's with anything. I just told you on the motor grader. Not on the motor grader, it won't work.
I mean, shouldn't there be some standards? Look, understand, I don't know anything about motor graders, okay?
Yeah. And I do, and that's the reason I tell you it won't work. Machinery,
but shouldn't there be some standard as to how far you lower the blade?
The machine has got a place where you lower the blade on it. It's got levers in it.
Well, it ain't as much as the blade.
Turn it and lower it or whatever you want to do. It's operated from, you got one guy running it, he operates the buttons, and you got another guy that does it, he does the same thing. And then it's just controls. Okay.
Well, I understand what you're saying.
It ain't just moving. We ain't talking about moving handles. I'm just talking about it won't work because one. Different equipment. They may want to run it this way. They may want one of them get it and they bring it back muddy. The other one's going to fuss about it and things like that. It just won't work. I mean, that would be great, and I'm for that. But you got to keep employees happy too, and they're going to start fussing about and they'll just move on. So
you just don't think it's a workable
solution
to the problem.
I mean, it's pretty simple. Go to one form of government. I mean, it's really simple.
I'm confused on what you're talking about when you say one form of government. Well, eliminate Jonesville, eliminate Lockhart, and eliminate Carlisle, and it all becomes Union County.
That's correct. And then they'll have to. The city of Union will dissolve the public safety, which you'll add more deputies on. You'll get rid of Sam White's salary. He makes right at $100,000 a year. And that's just one of them. It's using the police department. So you will have to add some more for the police department. But you got one form of government running all of Union County. I don't know why. You can't explain to me why Lockhart, Carlisle, Jonesville, all those really need a form of government. They really don't. I mean, I've talked to these people, a lot of them. Now you may have a few of them that's there because they like their trash pickup, and you still could have trash pickup in the city of Union, and that's basically all they get out of that. But they pay for the trash pickup. So I mean, it's one form of government. I mean, I don't know why you don't get it. It's pretty simple. It's one form of government running Union County.
You mentioned a moment ago, Tommy alluded to. No, I forgot who alluded to what, but there's state money out there. If I'm not mistaken, if we got it, it'd be somewhere around $500,000. Right. I'm thinking. here again, I can't remember everything I hear in the council.
Are you referring to the local government fund?
Yes.
Yeah, the local government fund is created to help pay for the mandates that the state puts on the counties. There's certain mandates that they send down. I mean, they send down, we have to go to a narrow banding system or whatever. You got no choice. You've got to do this, and it's going to cost $800,000. But they don't send you any money, and they hadn't sent us any money since 2007, I think it was, or 2008. And when they cut you $500,000 a year for years, you got to make that money up somewhere. And I know we've been to Columbia. We've talked to our representatives about the local government fund. The Association of Counties has been on everybody about reinstating the local government fund. I read on the Friday report that we get that there may be some money available for the local government fund. Hopefully they are. When they keep sending mandates down, and it seems like one comes every year that costs you a bunch of money, it's hard to make up $500,000.
But isn't it law that they're supposed to send you that money?
It is a law. There's a law that says that they're supposed to send you that much money every year. But you got the legislature down there that they changed the law to suit, we're going to change it this year. We can afford to send you that $500,000, which, it's not just Union County. I mean, Spartanburg County probably gets over $2 million out of the local government fund, maybe more. Depends on the population. But, that's money that we hadn't had in several years now that we've had to make up for. And like I said, I read the other day that they may be coming across with some more money. I don't know exactly how much yet, but I hope they do. But,
Wahoo, what do you think about that? The state passes a law and says we got to give that money back to the counties, and they don't do it.
Well, it's still taxpayers' money, and that's what I get on when people holler about grants and things. Grants are still taxpayers' money. Money don't come; it ain't free. People just don't give it. So when they give it back to the county, it still is taxpayers' money. I know that they said it's a law. If it's a law, I don't know why somebody in Union County hadn't let the attorneys handle it and say it's a law. Give us our money if it's there. So evidently, it can't be a strong law, or it ain't too much of a law for them to have that money. And you can't always depend on a handout, Mike. That's what I keep saying
about. That's not a handout. That is money that we have paid in that they say they're going to give back.
Well, we paid it in. Evidently, that we wasn't supposed to get it back because they didn't give it to us. And if it's a law, if I was on council, I would have been screaming bloody murder and give us our money. I just wouldn't have took it as that we ain't getting it. I don't know how, actually how the money, how they can say they're supposed to give it to us. I do know they've cut that money, and that ain't good because Union County don't have plenty of money just to throw around. So that would be great for Union County, but you can't depend on something that the state can't. They don't know exactly how much money is going to come in every year. They can project how much money is going to come in. So if there's a shortfall, it's a shortfall back to the counties, I guess. But you don't need to depend on that. You need to look for the future, saying, well, and then if that money comes, that's a plus. You can take it and buy a new piece of equipment or something that the county needs. It's out there. But I think that's what's wrong. Not only in Union County, the whole world. Everybody just is sitting back. Give us something. Let's stand on our own 2 feet. Because I'm tired of hearing about what people do in Spartanburg County. This is what they do in York County. This is what they do in Newberry County. Every county is different. Spartanburg County has 300,000 people. Union County has 26,000 people. And that's the point I'm trying to say when you're trying to run a business. The reason nobody can't, this Main Street right here, I'll use Main Street, the reason nobody can't come here and renovate one of these buildings to where the code says you got to, they can't afford to do that because there's not enough people to come through that door to buy their product to pay for their renovations. So we're different. So we got to think, you just can't say, well, Spartanburg's got it and Greenville's got it. You can't do that. You got to start preparing for what you got in order for Union County to get a raise, you build buildings and you build homes, and that's what we need to stress. I know we give, and by telling you that, they go out and give these plants all this tax incentive to come in, and they don't give no tax incentives for somebody to build a home. They ought to give it. Why won't they? This is something I would like to see done. They go tell a young person, say, if you build a home, we're going to waive the taxes for the first year. It ain't no different than giving a plant a fee in lieu of. Well, you say, well, we can't do that. Well, after that first year, then you're going to start getting money off of it. Give them an incentive to build a new home. That's how Union County gets a raise. It's when they build a tax base.
But that plant's not coming if you don't give something. And does it balance out in the form of jobs?
Well, I agree with you, and I've heard everybody say that plant's not coming. Right now, we got job openings right now, and people can't pass a drug test, and they're not educated enough to take those jobs. They got to come out of Union County.
What are we going to do about that?
It's a big problem. It is a real big problem. We need to take the robotics training facility up on the bypass. That's what it's built for, a robotics training facility, and work with Spartanburg College and get these people trained and ready and work ready in these newer jobs, and that's what's going to have to be done. And you probably don't agree with this, Mike.
It doesn't matter whether I do or not. I'm just the host here.
But I'm just telling. They don't have a development board director right now. I don't blame them for not having one. I guess they're looking to fill one, but right now we don't need to. If a plant come in here, we wouldn't have the people to fill the jobs. And I know that's a shame, but that's the truth. We don't have the people, so I wouldn't even be looking for no plants right now. What Union County needs to do is you got to fix your own problems before you can move forward. And if that's in your own household or own business, anything. When you got problems, you say, all right, let's stop a minute, let's fix our own problems, then let's move forward. And that's what you got to get a workforce that's ready. And you got to have homes. There's those homes for these people to move into. And you go out and look, see what rental houses are available. That's the reason people don't stay in Union. There's a lot of them, Mike, and I don't think they realize this. I don't think the people in the courthouse that's in charge in the city and in the county, they'll realize the reason these people that come to these jobs at Constant and Cavato do not stay in Union is because there are no homes for them to rent. They don't know how long they're going to be here at first. They don't know if they're going to like it. They would love to rent a home, but there's no nice homes for rent in Union County because the taxes are so high. You could give a incentive on that. If somebody built some nice home and give a tax incentive, but it's not affordable.
So let me see if I can sneak something in edgewise here and give Tommy a chance to speak. Now, and he made a good point there about the training for that, and that was the reason that the Advanced Technology Center was built.
Right.
And now we have learned, it's been in the news, that Spartanburg Community College will be taking over the operation of the whole thing, I think even this fall,
right.
In trying to work to get these companies in here to use it for training.
Right.
That's true?
Yeah, that's true. Right now, it's true that we have a lot of people that can't pass the drug test, but, we need to work to get people qualified to do these jobs. And right now, you can go up to the workforce up here and talk to those ladies up there, and they'll get you in at the technology center and get you trained to do some of this work. And it is true that Spartanburg Community College are working with the plants that we got now to bring people in and train them for the jobs that we got now. It's some of the technology now on these plants, like the Stomp and all these places. I mean, it's new technology, and we've got to have people that train to do this. Our young people, we got our young people out there. We can get them in the community college and train them right. We're teaching mechatronics and everything else in junior high and high school, and it's true. They're working to work with the plants.
Interesting program that not everybody voted for it, but it's in effect a scholarship for students that graduated from Union. Well, actually from any school in Union County that if they go there and train, and is it stay in Union for a period of time?
Right, yeah.
After graduation, it's pretty much paid for.
Right, yeah, exactly. Yeah, we passed that. It's been 3 months ago that we passed that. That you can go get your education for nothing, but that's part of the deal. You go to school, it's paid for. You stay in Union a certain amount of time, and I think it's a good program.
So what do you think about transportation in Union County? There's a transportation committee looking at, well, at this point in time, just looking at the feasibility.
Right. There's a committee looking at the transportation far as the county or the government getting into that right now. That would have to be something that would pay for itself. I'm not for raising taxes or anything to support a transportation center. To me, it needs to be privately owned or something that can support itself. No doubt that we probably don't need some kind of transportation. I mean, we got some old folks that I don't think we got a taxi service anymore. And
got one.
We got one?
Yeah.
Okay.
First and the last one. It's called Alpha and Omega.
Oh, yeah. I do remember seeing that. Yeah, I can remember when we had several in Union. I know you do too, but
you need a cab.
Yeah, you need a cab. That's right. Yeah. We had one guy that was it Mr. Who was it? Used to take people to work every day.
There were several of them.
Mr. Treadway. Anyway, I think that transportation system. I'm not against it, but I think it should be privately funded. I will not raise taxes to do that.
What do you think, Wahoo?
I don't even think we need to be talking about that. Union County's got a whole lot more problems than transportation. So if people in the courthouse shouldn't even be in a meeting talking about transportation system. Union County. I can remember years ago, you had one car in a household. That was years ago, but you got 4 or 5 cars sometimes at people's households, at least 2 cars. So I don't think that's a problem. We got a whole lot more problems than a transportation system.
So basically, there's enough cars in Union County to take care of the need?
I don't know. I have never heard of nobody couldn't get nowhere they needed to be. I've never heard that as long as I've been living here. And like I said, there again, everybody say, well, Spartanburg's got one, Greenville's got one, Newberry's got one. They got a lot more people than we got. Every household don't have the same budget, so every county shouldn't have the same budget. Everything is different. So that's just the way I look at it.
Let's talk about population. You have mentioned this several times. And really, when you get, if you don't have the population, you can't generate the revenue through taxes to do what needs to be done. That is an issue in Union County, and I'm going to go back to Tommy here. What do we do about it?
Well, like we talked about a few minutes ago, we're trying to educate our young people through Spartanburg Community College. We got the university down here. Hopefully these people we educated, we're going to stay in Union County and raise the population back up to where it needs to be, which would help our tax base. It's just, we got several things. Well, like I say, we've got a planning committee that we're putting together right now that's going to address some of these issues as far as, like Wahoo says, homes in Union County. They're going to talk about plans for the future for Union County in every aspect, and I don't think we need but maybe one more person on this planning committee, and they're going to start getting together and doing a lot of planning for Union County, and then bring it back to council, for us to look at and just go from there.
You want to talk about it?
Now, what was your question?
Population. What are we going to do to correct that problem?
We do have Union County is losing population every year, and a lot of people in Union County are old. I'm getting older myself, and we have a lot that's dying out every day.
Don't go too far with that.
And it's really pretty simple. You got to have you got to have homes for these people that's coming into these plants. I know firsthand for a fact people would stay here if they was homes for them to rent. I get calls every day. They're looking for a nice home to rent, and they're not here because of the taxes. I have a home on Springdale Drive. The mayor lives in it. The taxes are $2,660 a year. So that's its prime example. You take that and you add some insurance in with it, and then not count if air conditioning goes out, and you can only rent it for so much money. So that's a prime example to why we've got to cut these. We got to do something to help these, some kind of incentive to cut these taxes so you can have nicer homes. So I don't think it's fair, because let's say I rented you a home, Mike, and I got to pay 6% on it. You're still a resident in Union County. So why do I? So that means I got to pay a higher tax. That means I got to charge you more rent. Does that make sense?
I understand where you're coming from.
So just leave it all at 4%, and then people could afford. Then people would have these nicer homes to rent. These people could stay here, but they're not here. But look, I am glad to say that I and another guy is building some new homes in Union County. Matter of fact, hopefully we're going to try to have it ready this week, and we're going to start putting it on the internet for sale. Brand new home in Union County. In my lifetime, I've never known that to even happen in Union County. So we're trying to help. We're actually trying to help Union County. So, and we've got a lot of answers. Just to give you an example, I'm going to tell you who's come looked at the home. There's two coaches from the university up here that's come in. I'm going to give you an example of what I'm talking about right now.
Don't use names, though.
They, from university, two teachers, just two new teachers coming to the university this year. I got a phone call, said how they looking for homes, and they said, we got a problem. Basically what they've looked at is dumps. And I said, I agree with you. I know what you're talking about. And they come out and looked at the new home, loved it. Had a school teacher come out and looked at it. But there's people wanting these homes that are not available in Union County. And that's really hurts the university from getting good teachers or getting people to come in here, because when they do come in here, they don't know how long they're going to stay. So they want to rent something at first. Not to say they may come here and love it and we would want to buy something, and I don't blame them. I wouldn't want to spend $150,000 and then the first 2 weeks they don't like it and say, I wish I never come here. Then they got to try to sell that home. So that we need homes in Union County, and then
so homes are the problem, answer to the problem for the population.
Well, it's one thing that could help fix it, and that is probably one of the biggest things, having somewhere for somebody to live. I mean, any young couple out there, whether they just had a child or suspecting to have a child, and I'd ride. And if you got time, I'll take time out when they ride you around and show you these homes that's for rent. We'll call everybody's got a home for rent, okay. and I guarantee you, there's not a young couple when they walk. A lot of them want to go in and say, I'm not going to rent that. That's all available? And that is all that is available in Union County.
Let me go to wrapping things up here this morning. If you believe it or not, we've exhausted.
Let's go another hour. We ain't even hardly covered anything.
Well, I've got a program director that would come through that door shouting if I did that. And not to mention, you want to get on somebody's bad side. Let Swap and Shop not come on now. I'm telling you. Let me get it wrapped up here. We've done a lot of talking this morning, and I'm only down to about 2 minutes left. I want to give both of you an opportunity to take not even a minute, but a little less than a minute, to tell us why the people of Union County need to vote for you. Wahoo.
Well, I know what Union needs, and I can help Union County if they'll give me the chance. But I've said this ever since I've run. If you like what's going on in Union County and what they've done, put the same people back in. If you want change, I'll give you change, because the first meeting, I'm going to make a motion to cut the salary in half and put the money back in Union County to help Union County. The council salary, the salary of the council. I'm gonna make a motion to cut it in half, and I guarantee. And if I'm on there, you see how many other people. If I get a second to it, so we can vote on it. But I will make that motion. I'll promise people, I will make that motion to cut the salary in half, and I will make change for Union County if you give me a chance.
Tommy?
I think we need somebody with experience in Union County at this time. There's a lot of things going on in Union County, a lot of things that need some decisions made right away. all these other people can come in and tell you what they're going to do. They don't know the figures. They hadn't seen the figures. I know the figures. I've been there long enough that I do know the figures. So they can tell you they can do this and they can do that. But, it's a process where you got to have other people to go along with you to take care of this. So, I think I'm the right man for the job. I'm not a yes man. I work for the people of my district and Union County as a whole. I've been here all my life. I got a lot of invested in Union County. So, that's the reason I think you ought to vote for me.
Okay, thank you so much to both of you gentlemen for consenting to come in this morning. I think there's been a lot of information provided to the people, and they can use their own thought process to see who they do want to vote for. Don't forget the primary is Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, and sure responsibility to get out there and vote. This is WBCU, Union, South Carolina.